Hello, and welcome to another video of the series Salesforce Automation Testing. In this video, we are going to see the first test script or a test case that we execute using automation. Before that, let me tell you that I am going to show you the actual code which consists of the test steps which are automated, all in all, how you program or how you write an automation script. This piece of code can be a bit overwhelming for you in the very start, so do not worry. I will be going through the overview, and the details will be, a lot of details will be discussed in the upcoming videos. But yes, I'll give you a gist of it, of how the flow is, of what the basic functions mean. So you're able to get a feel of what test automation execution actually looks like. Cool. So let's start. But before that, one more thing. This is going to be the manual flow which we will automate. So this is the manual flow that you navigate, or rather, you open the Chrome window first. You navigate to the URL. You input the username in the username text box. Input password in the password text box and click on login. And then you quit the Chrome driver, right, or the Chrome window. That is the manual flow, and how we are going to leverage automation to automate this particular manual flow is something we'll see. So the topics will be the number one, script overview. That is, let us have a look at how the automation script looks like. Then we'll explain the steps, and then we'll see the execution. Cool. So let's start. The script overview is something like this. The code is as mentioned on the screen. Now, of course, looking at the code in the IDE first is very, very better as compared to a snapshot. So we will be going into the IDE and having a look at the code and understanding the steps and everything. And what we are going to understand is mentioned in this slide. That is WebDriver, the different types of web drivers that can be initialized. Then how can you use driver object throughout its explanation and all the other functions. Cool. So without wasting any more time, let's go into the IDE and see the code. This is the ID wherein the code or the test case is written. Now, if you have a look at line number 7, I mean, reference the line numbers from here. If you look at public class, SAT sample script, or public static void main, if you have encountered any programming language, I mean, an object-oriented programming language, you know what is a class, you know what are methods and everything. So as I did mention at the very start of the playlist, you just have to have a very, very basic understanding of any object-oriented language, preferably Java. You'll be able to make sense of it. So this is a class. I mean, we declared a class. We have a method here, the initiating method, and there's an exception handling as well. Let's ignore this particular exception, which is interrupted exception for now. Let's focus on line number 11, or rather line number 12, which says WebDriver is equals to new Chrome driver. What does this mean? So you have numerous browsers available. It can be Chrome, it can be Mozilla, it can be Internet Explorer for that matter, right? Now, whichever browser you are using to test your application is something you pass here. So if you see on line number 12, and if you see the word Chrome driver, it signifies that we will be testing our application or our flow on the Chrome web browser, right? And what is WebDriver? WebDriver is a class and driver is an object. So it's the simple object instantiation from a class, a very basic concept of hooks again. That is, you are instantiating an object of the WebDriver class, and then with the help of this class and with the help of this object, you can call different methods which are already listed in the WebDriver class. For example, in line number 13, you have driver.manage.window.maximize, right? So basically it says that using the properties of WebDriver class, maximize the window. That is, a Chrome window will open and you have to maximize it. Cool. Then the next step, if you remember it manually, we have to navigate to a URL, right? So again, driver, the object, dot get, and you pass in the URL here, which is the URL to the DevOps, right? So you are navigated now. Then thread.sleep, this basically means that let's suppose if there is a delay, let's suppose you hit on the URL and the page load takes some time. So you have to pass in some sort of way. There has to be some sort of way by which there is a pause, and Selenium waits for the page to load. So thread.sleep, or there are different types of waits available. This is something which we'll be discussing in the upcoming videos. But for now, just understand this line, which is on line number 17, thread.sleep. This particular line holds the execution for 3 seconds. That is 3000 milliseconds or 3 seconds. This one, right? Now, in line number 19, read the comment because it's very important to understand the comment. It says logging in using credentials. As I told you in the previous videos, Selenium is basically automating the manual task, right? So if you were asked to go ahead and execute this test case manually, what would you have done is that you would have selected the username field and input some value, which is hpotter5@test.com, the string that I've highlighted. You would have input the password, that is jobs@2024. I'll be changing it, of course, and then you will be clicking on login. Right? These are the basic steps that you would have been following. Now with automation, we do the same thing and we tell the system to do it. And how does the system do it? See, understand one thing: any tool, any software is not smart at all. It is we humans who have made it smart, right? So you have to give each and every piece of information to the system. For example, line number 20, right? Driver dot find element. So it will go ahead and find element, but how does it find element? It needs to have an address, and that address is an XPath, which is input ID is equals to username. So what it will do is, what Selenium will do is, it will take or fetch this XPath that you as an SDET has given. It will go to the browser, search for this particular XPath, and with using dot send keys, which is again a method that will paste this string, which is hpotter5@test.com into the username. Same for password. And using the step that is driver.findElement by.xpath value is equals to login. So, and dot click, right? So using the login XPath, it will go ahead and the Selenium tool will click on the login button. And after that, again, there is a wait because sometimes the page might take some time to load. So there's a wait. And then on line number 26, a line which says driver.quit. Basically, which means that using this step, once the test case is executed, go ahead and quit the Chrome window which is open, right? And in the last, we have just, you did not do it in your practical projects, but to show you, I have printed out a statement which says executed successfully. So once all the executions are done, and if we are able to see executed successfully, that means that the test case has passed successfully, right? For now, do not refer this. There are there are n number of other ways to see whether a test case is passed or not, but just for the starting pointers, right? So yeah, this is the script. And lastly, let's go ahead and let's execute it now. Right click, run. Now, I will try to explain it, but the execution is very fast. As you can see, it navigated to URL. It is inputting the username, password, clicked on login. And now it is loading. I am not doing anything. When I refer it, it means that Selenium is doing all these things. It logged in again. Now it performed driver.quit. That is why the Chrome window closed. And we have the message which says executed successfully. See, did you see this execution happened in fractions of second, right? So if the system is stable, if your scripts are all right, the manual effort of test execution can be saved by around 60 to 70%, which is a huge number. That is the power of automation. So I hope that this video explaining how the test script works, how the actual execution looks like, was helpful to you. You did get a flavor of test automation execution in action. And in the upcoming videos, we'll be discussing more of the methods. For example, dot find element, dot quit, dot click, dot send keys, all these methods. And there are different types of ways and everything. We will be having a look at all these different features of Selenium. But don't worry, it will not be theoretical. For every feature, I have a module prepared and I'll be showing you a practical example of that particular feature in Salesforce. Using the Salesforce web pages, I'll be showing you all the features of Selenium, and then we'll be executing them as well. Right? So don't worry, stay tuned with me, and I promise you to well verse you in automation, so you can be a flourishing SDET. So yeah, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon.